these jobs don't come about very often. This is a real pleasure to be a part of, to kind of play a really kind of iconic character in a band that just is loved by so many people. But I also thought that, like, just in the telling of the story, it's a very human story. You see them all as individuals. That, yes, they're iconic rock gods, but the way that it's written, I think you actually see their frailties, their friendship, their foibles. You know, you see them as individuals, and it breaks down this iconic person, this iconic character that's broken down into, you know, a human being. So the one thing that strikes you straight away is the way he can kind of captivate an audience. He has this unbelievable energy and connection with tens of thousands of people at once, and he has this ability just to kind of like signal out one person and just engage that one person, but on a huge scale. He does that with everybody in a huge stadium, and I think it's that energy and kind of magnetic kind of presence that he has. I grew up watching his films. I grew up watching Wayne's World, and everybody knows the iconic scene in the car when they're listening to Bohemian Rhapsody. And for many people, probably myself included, no, I'd listened to Queen a little bit before, but for many people that was their first introduction to Bohemian Rhapsody and to Queen. And so to have him in this film was like this beautiful moment of synergy. It was like, it felt appropriate that he, the person who'd brought this music to a new generation, was then kind of a part of our telling of the story. Queen as a band knew no boundaries in terms of their tastes and styles. And within that song, you have the perfect example of them as a band. You know, it's got rock out sections, like heavy rock sections. It's got operatic sections. It's got, you know, beautiful kind of a cappella sections, like tender ballad sections. It encapsulates them as a band. I was very privileged in the fact that I got to meet the man quite early on. You know, he came and met us while we were still rehearsing, and we were all in a room rehearsing some of the Live Aid scenes, and he walked in, and I'm there with a guitar around my neck, just thinking, please don't ask me to play, please. But he just, what could be an awkward situation, he just disarmed it straight away. He came straight up to me and just gave me a big hug, and he was just thoroughly excited and passionate and supportive, and he's never shown anything less than that throughout. You can't think of Brian May without thinking of the hair. You know, it's his trademark, and he's kept it even now, you know, years later. So it's so important to get that right, you know, because people love the band, love Queen, and that's part of it, is their look, their style. Starting the production with Live Aid was madness. It was such a full-on thing to go in and start with that, because you're starting at the deep end. Just in the scale of it, to play in front of tens of thousands of people, the musical challenge to try and learn all of those songs, but also you've got to try and kind of present a band that have been together for years, that know each other inside out, that have this bond and this connection. But we rehearsed meticulously. We had an amazing movement director, Polly Bennett, who studied the footage meticulously in so much detail, to the extent, you know, we were kind of choreographing it and saying, no, his knee was just turned in just a little bit more than what you're doing, and it was really detailed. I hope that it will satisfy Queen fans, existing Queen fans. I hope we managed to get across like the energy and excitement of them as performers. But also I hope that it's a good introduction to people that have never heard of the band, although that's difficult. Most people have heard of them, but maybe haven't seen them live. Because that's the thing, I'd always heard their music, but I'd never seen them live. And if we can just hopefully get across some of that magic of the way that they performed, I think that would be a great achievement.